we have. Can you by the way, pull up Distil Networks, the website, by the way.
Distil?
Yeah, distilnetworks.com. Look at this. This is. I spent some time on this website today. This is a fantastic website.
Kind of scared by the visuals on this.
You want to know what it's about?
No.
I here on the phone with us, Rami Essaid. Is Rami on Skype or on phone today? Okay, because they never tell me.
No. There he is.
Rami, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good to talk to you, man. First of all, I have to tell you that I drilled down in your website today before we got on the air today. You got a pretty cool deal there going, but I'm going to let you explain it, because if I try to explain this, I'm going to screw your whole company up and 70 million TV homes here. So
and when you're done, I have to say, "Oh, I get it," or you have to do it again.
If Russ doesn't understand it, you're gone, mister. This is like the Gong Show, okay?
All right. I'll try to distill it down for you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Very good.
Fun.
Very good.
Distill it.
All right. And by the way, can you pronounce your last name for me?
Essaid.
Like I had it right.
Essaid.
I told you.
Yeah.
Rami Essaid.
Got it.
I nailed it. All right, good. All right, Mr. Essaid, the CEO of Distil Networks. Talk to us about this thing, because this is a pretty cool deal you got going here.
So with Distil, we help companies identify the difference between bots and real people across their web infrastructure. You know those little squiggly lines that you have to fill out the captchas?
God, I hate that, because
Yeah.
I can never see what the hell
Some
it
I
is.
can't even make out. Like, is that an F or a B?
I act like I'm blind and they read it to you.
Yeah.
And then you can just type it, right? Is that how you trick that thing?
I mean, you could do it, but here's the trick about that: it doesn't work. The captchas, they're trying to eliminate bots pretending to be real people, but all they do is disrupt actual users from using using your website. And the bots can actually get around it. So what we came up with is a completely transparent way to identify the difference between a bot and a real person, so you don't have to fill out those captchas anymore. We've taken them away. We've made it easier, and we've made your website.
Oh, we're losing him there. Well, hey, listen.
I think a bot got into his phone.
It did. Okay,
So
Ron.
I kind of understand.
Yeah. So I have a question though. What does a bot do? I mean, I've never understood why what they're trying to protect themselves from, or from me from, by me having to fill out those little numbers. What is a bot and what does it do?
So a bot is just any kind of computer program that's trying to pretend to be a real person. And sometimes it's used for good reasons, like Google indexes the web with bots. But other times, malicious. And people use bots to break into websites. People use bots to exploit advertising. There's 100 different ways that you can use bots to do a lot of nefarious things online. At the end of the day, you as a company are making websites for people, not for bots. So you want to be able to filter down to just the real people and eliminate all that unwanted traffic.
So a bot's like an auto hacker.
It is an auto hacker, right? Yeah, that's good. So
hackers now, they don't do one-on-one hacks anymore. What they do is they write a bot and they distribute that bot, and instead of one hacker attacking your one website, now you have an army of bots that's controlled by a hacker that's attacking your website. So they amplify everything they can do.
Okay, so here's my question for you. Can we consider you in the cybersecurity space?
Absolutely. That's the place that we're in.
Okay, wow. And we have, there's a show coming on Biz TV called Cyber Nation, which talks it talks about how cybersecurity is so prevalent. In your opinion, is cybersecurity a bigger danger to us financially right now than almost anything? In other words, when I say financially, I'm talking about individual ripping me off, stealing my ID, taking my credit card, and taking all the money out of the bank.
I don't want anyone.
Is this as bad as we're hearing?
I think it's worse. The problem is we're moving towards technology at a faster rate than reaching up to the bad guys exploiting it. Right, so it sounds bad, but I think it's getting worse, and I think we're only at the tip of the iceberg of how bad it's going to really get. It's the wild, wild west.
Okay, but hold on though. But guys like you guys are ahead of the curve, right? I mean, you're ahead of this story. This is the whole reason that you're doing what you're doing, because you're in front of this. Please, God, tell me you're in front of this.
Prevention probably worth a pound of cure.
Right? Is that what's happening here?
So I'm ahead of this one problem in cyber.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems.
Hundreds of problems in cyber, and I only have hundreds, maybe thousands of customers. So there's a lot of people out there on the web that aren't using me, that aren't protected.
Yeah.
And so you multiply thousands of problems by thousands of people, or tens of thousands of people that aren't using me, and this is how bad it's really getting. It's a really crazy matrix out there.
Rami, are you guys a privately held company, or you're publicly traded?
No, so we're privately held. We're venture-backed. We've raised like about $44 million in venture financing.
Okay, let's talk about that because I come from a venture background and I still consult with companies about that. And I think what people don't realize is it's not an easy task, but it is a necessary task if you want to grow your business. And $40 million seems like a lot of money, but your burn rate with respect to your technology and your management and such, I'm assuming took that in little stages. In other words, you didn't go raise $40 million your first day, correct?
No, we raised it over time. Every year we kind of level up. So the first year we raised $1 million. The next year it was actually $2 million. The next year we raised 10, and then recently we raised 30 something.
All right.
Now,
so
is that because?
hold on. Wait, listen. I'm going to keep him over. I'm going to keep you longer than you anticipated because we had to go take a break real quick.
I'm just wondering if that's because you get $2 million. Now I can build it even bigger.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And then you say, now look at the company. Go, well, hell, we'll give you $4 million.
This is a great peek. So not only I like his company, we're going to talk about how he started this business.
Yeah, I like that part of it.
And he's in Silicon Valley. Talk about a competitive job market.
Right,
we'll talk about that as well. It is the Big Biz Show. BigBizShow.com is our website. You can follow us on Twitter at Big Biz Radio. 70 million TV homes strong, 150 radio stations, 175 countries. More Big Biz coming up. I think we should be brought to you by Distil Networks. First, they just raised $40 million. They can afford it.
Heck yeah.
Hey,
well, $2 million the first year. That's what I was wondering about. Does it get easier once you're up and running? Like, I got $2 million. Now I can really develop my widget.
Well, that's right.
And then you go to people, look how much better it is because I had $2 million.
Right, well,
give me $8 million.
Right. Rami Essaid's the CEO. Rami, is that how it works in venture capital? You get your first $2 million to get your traction going, and then once you decide you hit a home run, you need more money to fix to get the next step, right?
Yes, but there's a big caveat. But if you miss a step, right? If you don't get your traction, then you're hung out to dry. And it's easier said than done to kind of get that traction and get that next proof point. You have to not show incremental growth. You have to double. You have to show something monumental each step of the way.
Right.
And if you miss that, then you run out of money.
Now, Rami, let's say you get a $30 million round. I mean, what's the last Series C? How much did you raise?
Series B, we raised $31 million.
Okay, now they don't cut you a check for $31 million. You have to hit milestones, right?
Nope, they cut me a check.
They cut you a check.
So let me see
it moved into our bank account.
Yeah, you're tossing in some lingo here.
Wow.
Series A is the first. Series B is the second time you ask for cash.
Well, actually, there's seed capital. And there's usually a Series A round, and there's Series B, and each time, the share price should be increasing. Am I right, Rami?
Exactly. So
wow.
the value of the company is increasing each time.
Now let's talk about that. So let's say Rami comes to me and says, "Hey, Sully, I got this great idea.
Right.
It's called ice cream on a donut.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or even better, is there like the Gundermat? We're gonna do a laundromat and gun cleaning. Okay. Rami and Sully's, and he says, "I got this fantastic idea." So Rami, and let's say we do the pro forma, we do the income projection, we got a great management team, we have a proprietary advantage, we got a great barrier to entry, market size is through the roof, and we go out there and raise some capital. How do you do a valuation on a company that doesn't exist yet?
Yeah.
Now let me tell you what my guess would be. My guess would be that you would take the market size, which is quantifiable. Okay.
Right.
So let's look at the laundromat and gun cleaning market size. It's an $8 billion. It's an $8 billion market. And then Rami, what do? You decide, okay, we can capture 0.001% of that, and that's going to be our revenue, and we're what, 3 times revenue? Give me an idea how you value those things.
Yeah, no, I mean you're very close. I mean that's really spot on in how they value the upside of the opportunity, and then on the other side of it, they have to say, okay, how much risk is there? Has this team done it before?
Yeah.
Do they have a good idea? How hard is this to execute? And then they weigh those two things out and they say, you know what? There's this much risk, but this much opportunity on the other end of it. And we're going to say that the equation means, X amount of money, but, that this company's worth X amount right now.
Yeah.
That's the hardest one. It's really like, I mean, it's an art. It's not a science, and I liken it to put your finger up.
Well, I believe I just showed everyone that I'm an artist.
And are you talking to people that know what you're talking about, or just like, well, you're my brother. You're a good guy.
I'm assuming if you're going to the venture community, you're going to criteria-specific investors that understand this business, correct?
Well, so I mean, I guess I should have talked to you before I raised my round.
I'm doing pretty good, huh? How am I doing?
I mean, you're doing better than I did because I talked to every investor, right? I didn't know that. Hey, you know what? If I talk to investor Bob, then he doesn't understand my space. That he's not going to get it. And so I talked to 100 people that told me no, before I found the ones that,
Yeah.
that actually understood what the
That's
heck I
right.
was saying.
No,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. So Rob, and I guess first of all, we'd love to have you back. First of all, not just to talk about your company, but talk about the entrepreneurial sort of idea. One last question. So you were a serial entrepreneur. You started your first company as a kid. Let's say you weren't the CEO, but you had this great idea. You'd have to go out and find somebody to run that thing before somebody would take you seriously, or at least an investor would say, "Look, I'm going to give you this money, but I'm going to bring in Rusty Nailz to run it because he's run these types of things before." Is that accurate?
Actually, the numbers show that first-time entrepreneurs are actually doing better than repeat entrepreneurs.
No kidding. But are they investing?
yeah.
Are they investing in first-time entrepreneurs? Though is my question.
People are. They
Wow,
want
yeah.
somebody that's young and hungry. There's actually this weird opposite culture right now in San Francisco where people want that really young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed entrepreneur that wants to just eat up the world.
Yeah.
Because they know that they're going to work 180 hours a week.
Right.
And it's actually causing older people it's like reverse.
And by older, he means
Older
33,
people-
Russ.
I know it. Yeah. You're washed up.
By older people, he's
Older people are
33
doing,
years
like,
old.
plastic surgery and stuff to just look younger. It's crazy.
All right, here's the deal. You have now created. We've been on the air for almost 19 years.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
we're in
today.
150 radio stations. We're 70 million. You've created. You are now the serial entrepreneur of the show. I'm going to have you on every other week. And this guy. You've learned more from this guy than you have from me in 18 years.
And
haven't
vice versa. I think he took a little away from us.
you? Yeah, exactly. By the way, I want some equity in that deal since I taught you something, pal.
We're going to have to talk offline.
Rob,
There we are.
thanks, Rami Essaid, of course. The website. See the website one more time.
See that, kids? If
Distil-
you're watching,
DistilNetworks.com.
leave your parents out of the room
Yeah,
and
he's
just
like-
keep
yeah.
cooking that idea.
Yeah, he started his first company as a kid, which was basically Thursday, if
Right.
I'm not mistaken.